changes to the 5% down conventional loan and what they are coming up next on Tuesday's Tips. Thank you, Suzanne, for coming on again. I think we're going to talk a little bit about conventional mortgages and some changes or some things that went away and came back. I don't know what's going on the conventional mortgage side.
Yeah, really good news, Jeremy. So for multifamilies, for 2 to 4 units, last year it happened around April of 2020, where Freddie Mac got rid of their 5% down program. It came back a few weeks ago. So for first-time home buyers, if you're looking at a 2 to 4 unit, and if you're within the income limits, so it's called the Home Possible program, and it's a great program because when we compare it to FHA, if someone has 5% down, and nothing bad against FHA has got some great things to it. You can go 3.5% down. One of the bummers with FHA that I'll talk to people about is that if you're not putting at least 10% down, then that PMI is going to last the lifetime of the loan. So PMI is that mortgage insurance. So if you default, it benefits lenders. Lenders are going to be made whole, and it's an insurance that insures the loan. So with Freddie Mac, that PMI will not last the lifetime of the loan. That's going to fall off. 3 ways you can get rid of it. One, either you hit 78% of your original value. So if ever we get into a market where real estate starts to go down in value, and we like to believe that'll never happen, but we never know. Once you hit 78% of your original value, the PMI falls off. Or if you start noticing, hey, Jeremy, I bought my house for 300. All houses around me are selling for 350, 400. You can reach out to customer service, and they may say, hey, you need an appraisal to evidence the value. Or if rates drop, then your lender ought to be reaching out to you about the refinance opportunities. So excited to have this program back. It's called Home Possible. You can Google it, or Jeremy, maybe you can put in a link here. So it's Freddie Mac's Home Possible program.
Okay, I'm going to put a link, within the video there.
Awesome.
All right, I have a question to clarify something for analytical people such as myself. When you said you hit 70% of the value, is it 78% of the purchase price or the appraisal price? Because sometimes the appraisal, as we know, can be higher than what the purchase price was.
Purchase. 78% of your original purchase price. Yes.
Thank you. Perfect. Now, I know there's other people out there too, maybe buyers or other agents and stuff, and they're probably thinking what I'm thinking right now. You didn't talk about 3% down conventional mortgages. Do those apply to multifamilies, or are those just single families, or why didn't we mention that right now?
Yeah, no, good question. I wish they did apply to multis. They don't. So 3% down conventional is for qualified first-time home buyers. So you got to be a first-time home buyer to do 3% down. There's 2 ways that you can do it with conventional on the conforming, highway, the conforming being Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, is that you've got to either be a first-time home buyer and either meet income limits, or if you're above income limits, there's what they call their expanded programs. Freddie Mac calls theirs their Home One, and Fannie Mae right now, got a brain fart, I don't know, it's Fannie Mae's expanded program for 3% down for qualified first-time home buyers. Yeah. All
right, great. So I'm going to try to summarize as the student here. So you can do 3% and 5% down if you qualify on single family homes. On 2 to 4 units, you can do 5% down if you qualify for a conventional loan. Does that sound right?
Correct. And that's Freddie Mac's Home Possible program.
Okay, Freddie Mac's Home Possible. All right, great. And I'm going to put a link, within the text of this video, wherever I'm posting it. That way people have it. And could I throw a little bonus in there today?
I read bonuses.
All right, bonuses. So I read recently that the conventional loans recently increased the top limit before it converts over to a jumbo loan and you pay the higher rates. Is that true? And do you know those numbers off the top of your head? And I'm not going to fault you if you don't.
Off the top of my head, I don't. I still will Google it or check.
Okay.
But yes, conventional loan limits have gone up dramatically. This might give your viewers a little bit of a giggle. I remember back in '01 or '02 when the jumbo limit was somewhere around $230,000 or $240,000. I gotta find it because I gotta put that on my YouTube.
Oh,
It's hilarious. It's hilarious to think that now versus, and it's also really interesting to see like first-time home buyers buying their first house at $600,000 or $700,000. It's just,
yeah.
I mean, that is, in one regard, it's inspiring to see what people are earning for income. So in a lot of sectors, income is up. So, you know, a lot of times a big chunk of your income might go to your home, but you also want to buy like what works right for you.
Right.
So it's just, it's pretty remarkable to think what the limits are now.
Yeah.
And in the high cost areas, that's even, it's even crazier when you look at that. So it's the FHFA where you can find those mortgage limits. So it's FHFA is where you can find those mortgage limits. And for people in Massachusetts, you will see the county limits of how something like Suffolk County has such a much bigger limit for the conforming limit.
Okay. You just mentioned something. I didn't realize that. So even though, let's say the limit was pushed from 524 to 592, I think I'm in the ball, or maybe it was even 624.
It's six something.
Yeah, it's six. I think it was 624. So let's say that you get to that county you just mentioned, their limits could even be higher than that because their average, their average cost for a home there is higher.
Yeah, think of something like California, Hawaii. So
Okay.
we're in all 50 states, and there's a loan officer. He constantly will open his emails with aloha. So in Hawaii, much bigger difference. Again, I use Massachusetts as an example because we lend in Massachusetts. So you see, or I do, being licensed there. And you see the dramatic difference in what county limits are. So, and that can make a difference for someone.
Right. Yeah, that's huge. I didn't realize that it could also be county specific. That's pretty neat. All right. Well, thank you for coming on, Suzanne. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year.
Yeah, same to you, Jeremy. Thanks. It's always been a pleasure doing these. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tuesday's Tips. I'm Jeremy Bailey, your Flying Realtor. Remember to keep your wings level, and I gotta fly.